Please don't sing.
Yep, going live.
Hello, Tommy.
Greetings, everyone. Tommy Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island. So there's a lot of things happening in the next 3 weeks. I want you to be aware of what could happen, what might not happen. But the government's supposed to release their files in the United States within the next 3 weeks. The UFO world's up in arms and going crazy, thinking it's going to be the greatest thing. But they're also predicting what's going on here? They're predicting a fake alien attack, which I think is the most ridiculous thing. To have a fake alien attack, what would they do? Have invisible robots or what? Invisible aliens come and attack people? What would they do to have a fake alien? Fake aliens coming down to do what? That's the most ridiculous thing I heard. But they've been saying that for a long time, but now they said it's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. But I went out this morning. I saw 4 ships in an hour. I saw a blue meteorite comet really, really close to the ground going along the ground, not up or down, going sideways. I don't know what it was. I can't guarantee it was a meteorite, but it was bright green and it was moving fast. But it was so close to the ground, which is pretty bizarre. Usually they're coming down, they're not going sideways. So somebody asked me for my book. Anybody that's interested in a book on how to see a UFO, please email me, text me. It's free. I'm not charging anybody for it. It's about 200 pages. There's some other stuff in there, but the first 150 pages about how to see a UFO, if you're interested. You have a reason to do that. But please, open up your eyes, go outside at nighttime and look. You're bound to see stuff, and there's so much stuff happening lately. It's been raining forever here. All right, I'll let my co-host say hello. Greetings, Tina.
Greetings, Tommy. Hello, everybody. I'm Tina Bird here in Southampton in the UK, and we've had some cold weather recently. We've had a few drops of rain today, but high winds and storms, so hopefully coming out of that. And it's predicted to be nice, I think, next week or the week after. Not much else going on here in the UK. However, we are coming out of the COVID-19 restrictions. I think we're in step 2 or 3 of the 5-step process coming out. From next week, people can dine in because everywhere's been closed. All the shops have been open now. You can have food and beer and things like that, but outside. So from next week, you can sit in. You can meet 2 other families. I think we're another family outside and inside from next week. So it should be interesting. However, I think there's been on the news that we do have the Indian strain from India of the COVID-19 here in the UK. But apart from that, I think things are going well. The death rate, which is the main thing, has come right down here in the UK, which is good. And vaccinations seem to be holding and protecting, doing what it says, really. And other news here in the UK, same as Tommy. I would just like to say hello to John in our comments in our chat room. We're on the countdown. I think it's about 20 days, as Tommy said, to the Americans, the United States' declassification of all their UFO files. That should be an interesting read. But again, I agree with Tommy, and I've said it before. I don't think it's going to be what people think it's going to be or mean. Which is unfortunate. But we'll see what they're going to release. But I think people are waiting for them to, officially hear from the president or someone to make very high up to make a statement. I know that they already have in different parts, like Luis Elizondo and people like that have always, said about the UFOs and that. But I think that they're waiting. I think the people wait for official statement, like someone to go on TV. I think that's what they're expecting, and it's not going to be like that. Hopefully, I'd like it. Is it going to be like that?
Well, here's a problem. All right, now, I've been filming UFOs for a long time. We came out in 1996, all right, and we started showing ships, real ships, not Tic Tacs. So everybody is still talking about Tic Tacs like they're ships, like they could be real people inside them, and they're doing things, but you can't tell what they are. They're dots. They're just little spots. So for them to come out and show a real ship is going to be pretty important. Even if they show one picture of a real ship, which is still up in the air, I'm not sure they're going to even do that. It could just be documents. And the last time they released documents, they were all blacked out. The original ones that we had. So hopefully, I'm hoping for one simple sentence saying aliens are real, they're working with aliens, they shot an alien down, anything, any one of those sentences in a way that we'll hear it. So, because at that point, it'll open the door for everything else to be real. Until they say it's real, a real alien in a ship, what are they going to say? An unidentified flying object. We don't know what it is, which is a cop-out, because they know what it is. They shot him down. They work with aliens. And if they're not going to release that, everything's a lie, which I expect to happen. But the UFO world has this great hope. Now, the person you said, I like him. He's one of the few UFO people that I do like. All right. But I've been dealing with Richard Dolan, Michael Saller, and all these people. They have no evidence, no proof, and all they can do is repeat people's stories. I never did. Sergeant 18 and I, we shot pictures every week. For years, we went around the United States showing them. We weren't hiding them. But then when John Ford got arrested, that was the best video of a UFO ship crashing on Long Island. Now, people, you want the truth. I don't know why they're not trying to get him out of jail, out of the nut house. He didn't do anything. So the UFO world completely stays away from him. I don't know why. They're afraid to go to jail. I said, look, any good speaker in the UFO world usually disappears. And I guess they're all afraid to become a real UFO speaker, meaning telling the truth. Because Bob Dean was one of the most important people in the UFO world. A. Grimsley was really important. I mean, I could go on about a bunch of names. But, you know, people don't know that. They don't know that good speakers are gone, and all these people out there are just only in the world for a short period of time.
Like, I'm going to interject there, Tommy, because the piece of news came up this week that is kind of related to that. What it is there is a huge news, and people, like you say, speakers and people repeat other people's cases, or breaking news, if you like. This week, it was announced that the Mars rover took a picture of is it Perseverance, the new Mars rover? I can't remember what it's called. Mm-hmm. It took a picture of the helicopter getting ready to take off or land on Mars. It caught a picture of a UFO monitoring the helicopter. They actually released it. NASA released the picture. If you go online, they caught a picture of the UFO that was stalking the helicopter. Obviously, it went back to the Perseverance to land, and the Perseverance snapped a picture of it in the background. And it's on, if you look on the internet and put Mars rover UFO, it said, I think it was like aliens or Martians watching UFO aliens, but we are the aliens on Mars. So really, that, you know, so the Mars rover actually snapped a picture of this thing, and I can't believe it's not been on headline news anywhere in the world. It's been on all over the internet news, but it's not been on like the BBC or CNN, or perhaps it has in America, I don't know. It's not been on the TV here in the UK, and I can't believe that. I mean, NASA actually gets a picture of an alien ship following us on an alien planet, and no one's talking about it.
I'll have to dig that out because I didn't see it. Nobody, like you said, nobody's promoting it.
That should be shared on Facebook. I shared it on Facebook.
You know, I saw something from you. I didn't get to read it, but you know, people, you don't think they would have put it on all the news, on all the channels, especially when we're so close to the government coming out and saying something. I'll have to dig that out. I have a friend who's filming ships all the time, and he has one of the most expensive telescopes for a person to own, and he's filming ships all the time. but they're not solid looking ships. They're like beams and everything else. But when I was doing it, we had actual photographs of about 7 or 8 different kind of UFOs directly, and then we went into the orb thing because we had all kinds of orbs. Uh, so what somebody's talking about binoculars. Let's see, beautiful waters view, blah blah blah. Okay, I wish I could get a pair of night vision glasses. Anybody want to send me a pair? Please do, and I'll get you more pictures than anybody else will, because we see ships all the time here. I
Send
mean,
me some over and I'll send you some snaps. If you go onto my Facebook account, a lot of it I have taken down. I just give up. People in the UFO world seem to attack you when you put good pictures up and you give them all the information and they're like, I'll give up now. If you go outside in Hampshire on any given night and look up in the sky, you'll see things flying about up there that have no business being up there. And you're talking from 11 o'clock at night, 12 up to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, and you'll see little lights shooting about in different directions and up and down and across and floating across the sky. They're not aeroplanes, they're too high, they're like up by the stars and things shooting across. You know, if you're going to spend the time out there, take a few pictures and post them, people, because they're out there.
well, John talked about TJ. I haven't been talking to her much at all. She always corrects something I spell wrong or something, but she's really not too. She's into a business, more of a business than anything. And I have a problem with the stories and stuff. I mean, her story is great. Her ex-husband's story was incredible as well. But now she's more into promoting a business, which is okay for her. I don't want to be in a business. I'm not trying to make money. I could be, but I'm not, and I don't want to be. I just made a commitment to myself, Tina. I'm rededicating my whole life to what I'm doing with my few books that I have out there, and this UFO channel. I did a show yesterday on Jesus, believe it or not.
I saw that posted.
I had my first troll on there as well. I think it was a Muslim by what he was saying and stuff, but it was really weird stuff. I couldn't even figure it out, so I had to block him. But in all the time that I've been doing the show, I had maybe three. TJ and I had about two trolls once, and not like that's my first troll on this show. But I don't mind it. I know when I was doing Terry Cassidy's show, we didn't have trolls on there. We had about 75 people in the chat room every time we did a show. The next day, we'd have about 1,200 people hit us, hit the show. But whenever I went on Carrie Cassidy's show, she had at least 5 trolls in it any given time. Now, I'm going to bring some news up before I go any further. Sean David Martin, he discovered Area 51. He brought people there to see it. He was put in jail for 4 years. He was let out a couple months ago. He just did Carrie Cassidy's show last Saturday. They arrested him Friday. We don't know what's happening. His wife told me they're trying to kill him. All right, which I kind of believe they are. All right, he's supposed to go to court yesterday. I don't know if that happened or not. Oh, wait, yeah, today's Tuesday, right? So, I mean, he was supposed to go to court on Monday. So I don't know if he did or not and what's going to come out of that. He's probably going to need money for a lawyer and everything else, but I don't know. Whatever he said on Carrie Cassidy's show must have really offended them to a point where they said, let's arrest him. They didn't want the truth out. I know he was talking they were supposed to be dead, including Elvis Presley, Kennedy, and a couple other people that were still alive after they were supposed to be dead. So that could be enough to make them angry. But he's in jail again. I don't know what's going to happen. If they keep him in jail, they will kill him because he's dying. He's real sick. It's really sad. But the UFO world doesn't do much for him. Kerry Cassidy's the only one that's been helping him. You know, I was in a religion or a spiritual path, whatever you want to call it. And if somebody got in kind of trouble of any kind of reasoning, they would avoid them like the plague. So it's kind of like the UFO world. Somebody's too deep into something, they hide. They don't get involved. They don't help, and they don't want to support the person. John Ford should be out of jail right now. He's been in since 1996. He didn't even go to trial. The government won't let him go to trial because he had 4 videos filmed of the ship. I saw it. He shipped them around the world to people and said, don't release him unless he dies. So guess what? They're keeping him alive in the nut house. They're not letting him out. If he went to trial, he could show those videos. And they're afraid of that as well. Because when that ship crashed on Long Island, I went out where it crashed. And it actually leveled about not 3/4, about a half a mile where the ship came down and went in between the trees.
That's a lot of space.
And they burnt it for 3 weeks. They set it on fire trying to burn all that evidence. When I went there, all the trees were there, all notched out, but burnt. So they couldn't destroy the actual evidence. But they had 3 black trailers removing the UFO and everything for 3 weeks, going in and out of there. And the law now, I don't know if people know this, under their book law, the police law, the fire department law, it says if an unidentified flying object lands, they have to block off the area. They're not allowed inside it. Police or the fire department.
So if that's law, they're admitting aliens exist.
So, that's so bizarre. Okay, if the ship lands, you can't go near it. Oh, really? But it's not real. Why should we stay away from invisible things?
So humans have got to stay away from aliens, but when they come to abduct you, they don't need to. They don't need to obey the rules. They just come in your house and take you where you sleep. You can't stay away from them, Tommy.
It's and I was just saying this to somebody, because now the UFO, I mean the ghost and spirit world and demon world is escalating. They're filming creatures everywhere on the planet right now, all kinds of creatures. All right. They still have only about 3 states in the United States say you cannot kill a Bigfoot. All the rest of them say kill it. We don't know if it's there or real. So, it's like people just decide what they want out of a whim, not of any kind of facts, not any kind of evidence, and they do what they want.
Well, here in the sorry, Tommy, but here in the UK, UFO signs have escalated. If you like, I'm just going to pick an example because I've got a list in front of me. If you look on the Metro News, the online news, and go and look at the Worcester, a place called Worcester here in the UK, on the 5th of May at 8:40 a.m., I think it was, a man went outside his door, went like that, snapped a UFO outside his house. He's got a picture of it. It's enlarged. It's on the Metro paper online. Have a look. These things are being reported. They're now being reported to newspapers. They're still not making it to headline TV. But you can watch it and read it on the internet. Go on the days of newspapers. It's on the internet news, but nobody's reading it. This is something from outer space has been pictured outside of somebody's house. You go outside here and you can take a picture of something that does not belong in this atmosphere, that comes from another place. Somebody has built it. Something with intelligence has built a craft, something more intelligent than us that's come to our planet from another planet. That's the biggest news in the world in history. Why isn't every country in the world showing this on this TV radio? What is going on?
If I was an alien, any race, the reptilian race, the gray race, the mantis, any race, I'd be the first person to land in front of the White House and say, you moron idiots. I said, you treat us like garbage.
I don't even know what the White House is.
I'm just saying, you treat us like garbage. You don't give us respect. And then they said, well, if they were real, they could destroy the planet. Yeah, if they wanted to destroy the planet, they could. Probably. But do they want to? Of course not. So what are we going to do? Something with my voice. What are we going to do? So all I can say, order my book. Send me a link. I'll send you my book. Read it. Learn how to see a UFO simply and easily. And go out there with a camera and start filming them. Our cameras, the newest Android phones that came out, the 21X and things like that. Take pictures of the satellites, ships, you name it. It'll take pictures. Get a camera that can at least take pictures, and go out there. Start filming. Everybody should have a camera, which most everybody does. But not every camera can film the sky at nighttime. I mean, I had one and it didn't, and I was so upset about it.
So mine is just like that. So it's just a normal phone, but you go outside, you can take pictures of what have you, and I'll just put it on to pictures, snap a picture of whatever is like flashing up there, and enlarge the picture, and you have amazing pictures from that. Let me just try and pull one up.
Well, mine takes incredible video, incredible pictures, and we need to start building a real log of all of it. Now, MUFON was a fake.
See that?
Yep, I can see it good.
And then I got a really weird one.
MUFON actually sold their videos, pictures, and everything. All right, for about $80,000.
Yeah, what's going on with MUFON? A lot of people are leaving MUFON in America
because they don't do anything. Way back when I was going out to John Evans Ranch, they called me at 12 o'clock at night and said, "Where are you? What are you doing? And when are you going to be there?" And they said, we want to stay in touch with you. And they didn't call. I called back Monday, a week later.
The black triangle, the light on there. Can you see it?
Yeah, but they never said anything. They didn't even want to talk to me. So they pretend they care about what you see, what's happening.
No.
If it's not their personal friends or something, I don't think they care at all. But yeah, they're useless. They've been here how many years, and what did they do?
I know a lot of people are leaving, which is sad.
Now, the person that died, who Bud Hopkins, he actually helped design the procedure for MUFON, the steps, what you got to learn, study, and do, and all that. It's all lies. I mean, they give you the scenario of how to tell if somebody's crazy. Really? A psychiatrist?
Well, they're trained psychiatrists then, are they?
Yeah. I said a psychiatrist can't tell. I mean, so these people are going to go out there, "Oh, he saw a UFO, he's crazy." Really? Anybody, mark my word, anybody, I'd say 99% of the people on the planet, if any one of them goes outside and a ship lands near them or comes near them, they're going to be thinking and acting super strange. They're not going to be able to react normal, and they're going to be out of balance for a period of time.
I mean, if you want to report it, who do you report it to about them taking a mickey? And most people are traumatized. I mean, when they realize what's happened or they know what's happened, it's very traumatizing. I don't think people really realize what's going on.
Never mind if you get abducted.
Oh, that's me.
So, I was on Long Island. I was staying in a multimillionaire's house. He actually was the engineer for all the millionaire houses being built in Long Island. He had a mansion. He was gone for a month, so I got to stay in his house for the whole month. When he came back, we started talking. And he goes, "Oh, you're into UFOs?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Check this out." And he pulled out newspaper articles of Long Island.
The NASA rover. This was the thing behind it. They've enlarged it and put it in the front. That thing in the red circle was what was on Mars following the helicopter, and the Mars rover snapped it from underneath the helicopter.
Oh, it was a Russian ship, right?
No, it wasn't.
No, I'm just saying, what are they going to say it was, really? Yeah. So here he is. He told me that he showed me the articles of the ship that they saw go into the ocean. He was with his girlfriend in front of this big picture glass window. Red. They called the hospital up. The hospital told them to take 3 aspirins and go back to bed, which they did. And they woke up the next morning okay. How did the hospital know to tell them that? If you said, "I'm burnt, I saw a UFO, I was burnt," the hospital's going to say, "Take a couple aspirins and go back to bed"? No. So however that went down, it was all set up. So everybody on the outside might not know anything, but the people on the inside all do, and what they got to do, what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to make people react to it. It's so pathetic because right now people need the truth. We need to know. Maybe it would help Russia and China and Germany and all these countries unite a little bit better than we are. I want to tell you this, people. You don't have to believe it. We already had a few wars in space. We fought with Russia in space. All right. Now, we don't talk friendly down here, but we're friendly up there for a reason. Because we know if we don't take control of that, we can lose the whole planet. And Putin himself, he's one of the richest people on the planet. He doesn't want to lose his life. He doesn't want to lose his family. He doesn't want to lose his land. So, yeah, he's trying to keep things protected as best he can. But now we got all these riots going on everywhere. We got a virus and a disease and everything else. Now, India is being attacked. I'm trying to justify why India would be so attacked. I believe in karma, alien karma, physical karma. I mean, it's your karma to be abducted, with however you want to look at it. But for India to be wiped and really struck like that.
They're suffering, those poor people over there. That is devastating to see that.
So, I have to say, first thing I say, it's not God's fault. All right. God didn't say, I want to kill all those people. But then when we talk about the New World Order, UN Agenda 21, they say
I don't care who
population
you
depletion.
are or what country you're from or where you're born. Nobody deserves to leave the earth like that. There's poor people, there's poor families who've got no help, middle of nowhere. It's just wrong. And there's probably worse people that aren't available to go on camera in poorer countries. It's wow. There's nobody
Well,
out there helping them, and there should be. It's awful.
well, Pfizer just said they're not going to approve the vaccine.
Well, their vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine,
Right.
or AstraZeneca.
So who knows what's going on? They said 2,700 people do not want to take the vaccine, so they're not going to approve it. So if they come out, which could happen, and they make or try to make everybody get it, what do you think is going to happen if that happens? Now, Mr. Gates had a couple videos online, one saying he wants population depletion by better medicine. Then he said that he's going to create his own laboratory, make his vaccines, and start giving them out.
Well, really, because there'd be no one on the earth left to give a vaccine to at this rate. The amount of people dying around the earth, I don't think people realise. I know we're overpopulated, but if there's no cure for this, you're just going to keep burning.
Well, I want to remind everybody, Mr. Musk was on Saturday Night Live. And people were up in arms with what he said on there. I guess they gave him freedom of speech because he said a couple of things that people were really aggravated or frustrated about. But in the interim, he also said, not on that show a couple of days before, aliens are not here. He's talking about going to Mars and putting people on Mars and all the other things, right? But he's not talking about real aliens. Why not?
They probably had enough of this planet and decided to go to another one.
But don't you think aliens are going to be just as upset about us going to other planets? We can't take care of this planet. I know I would be.
Think there's not one day that goes by that somebody doesn't die, gets killed, gets stabbed, gets raped, attacked, murdered, eaten, buried alive, burned. They're poisoning people. The people starving, people drowning, people dying. It's just all over the planet. And nobody. Would you want to go and visit that planet? Because I wouldn't, and I sure as hell wouldn't want them coming to visit me.
This weekend, New York City, 15 people were shot. In Russia, 22 people, including children, were shot in a shooting.
It's to me, it's like it's craziness. What I actually don't think I don't like humanity. People say, well, what? That's I like, no, I don't think I like any form. I know we got males and females. The actual human race itself is a very sad race. At the end of the day, it boils down to It's not this, and this. It's good people and bad people. And unfortunately, 95% of the world that do have good people in it are poor people. They've got no voice, no power, nothing. And it just seems to be the other people with the voices, with the power, with the money, fail to help anybody else but themselves. And it's the human races, I think, it's disgusting. The way they treat each other is awful.
Well, you know, in the United States, we got a serious problem. We got Mr. Trump leading a revolution against the Democrats, and they believe he's so high and almighty and spiritual and doing all these good things. While at the same time, Biden's trying to get...
sorry, Tommy. People talk about presidents and things like that. Why are they talking about they're talking about rich people that have money? I know everybody jokes, and you have money sometimes, and you don't. But the mega rich people that's supposed to be helping the poor, it's like in Britain. They wanted a public inquiry into about wallpaper and decoration in the Prime Minister's flat. If our MPs and people in Parliament talk about wallpaper and decoration, people are dying of COVID. People are dying of hunger and starvation. People are drowning in the Channel. And they want to talk about wallpaper. What's wrong with it? No. Why would you want to talk about presidents when you've got people and kids shooting each other? No. It's totally wrong. If they're more interested in talking about president and what he's wearing or what he's eating for dinner or where he's going, they should be talking about, the same here in Britain, they should be talking about what matters to the people.
Well, see,
how they're going to get themselves out of this,
Here's the thing, Tina. Now, the numbers are pretty different. There's only 15 million millionaires in the United States. All right. There's 300 million people in the United States. About 150 million voted. All right, there's a difference. Wait, let me finish this, Tina.
Sorry.
Because, okay, the 15% control everything. They control the voting system. They control the laws that are made in the United States. Now, I said the black and white issue is based on the British and the English. I know you don't like that word, but they're the ones that created our laws in the United States. They're the ones that created slavery. They're the ones that created everything wrong in the United States.
No, we're going to disagree there.
You can disagree, but you don't know the facts, all right? Because inside the United States, I know what the Native people went through. Who did it to the Native? Yeah. Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, all these people were the evil people in the United States that destroyed it, all right? Now, I'm not saying when slavery was abolished and things like that later on, but it wasn't in the beginning, and what they did. All right, now, here's the thing. Thomas Jefferson gave, when he said, we will have the rights to form a militia, he created that bill. By Bush, right after 9/11, passed the bill saying you're either for us or you're a terrorist. Anybody that went against the United States became a terrorist group. 450 groups became terrorist groups in the United States.
Yeah, but then you're still letting terrorists into your country.
What was that?
I'm not going to get into politics. It doesn't bother me. I'm more about the poorer people in any country that get abducted, and the military in any country and the government refuse to do something about, or refuse to help them, or refuse to give them medical care. It's not these rich people or executives that people listen to them. It's the poor people that every day is always a poor people in every country that get it. Poor people are abducted. Poor people are killed and murdered for what they know. If that's not a highlight, if people are run over for what they know, that's not a highlight. If that's not, oh, he's been poisoned by some Russian drug that's all over the world news. This poor guy could be a scientist. This poor guy could be an abductee, have loads of information. They just don't want people telling him about it. Hello, let's just kill him or knock him off or make him sick. Nobody's out there helping these people.
The biggest issue in the United States right now, Biden is trying to pass a bill. Anybody over 400,000 pays a lot more taxes. Anybody under it will pay very little taxes. The rich people do not want that. Of course not. Because they'll have to pay a lot of money. And they feel they don't want to pay for the poor people.
Well, if I was a poor person in America, and a lot of homeless people now, just normal, genuine, everyday American people, regardless of race or gender, are homeless. If they're homeless and living on the streets, it's very hard for them to get cleaned up or walk down to a voting way, whatever it is you vote over there. They'd rather go and queue at a church or queue at a kitchen to be fed for that day. That's my understanding of it. So I'd
Well,
rather do that than put pen to pencil to say, hello, let's argue about wallpaper. Oh, no,
see,
sorry.
a homeless person does not have an address. You can't vote without an address.
Oh, there you go then. So there's no ecologically environmental need to or resolve to rehouse homeless people because it benefits the American people and the American senators and the American justice system, because these people then cannot vote. So the more people that are out of the voter system, the more people they don't have to control. So it's better for them if they don't find homes for these people, help them in any way whatsoever, because they're then out of the
Well,
voting system.
California is going
If
through the
you're
worst.
poor, you don't vote. If you're poor,
Look,
you don't vote. Oh my God.
California is going through serious trouble right now. The highest number of homeless, they said they're going to build a couple box houses for them, which isn't going to help anything. But they're living on the streets. The stores are closing down. All kinds of things are happening. It's probably the worst part of the United States right now. And the problem is people don't see it. When I was out there, I used to go down to the beach and see all the homeless groups in circles and stuff at night. And you have the drunks, you have the drug addicts, and you have the religious people as well. But they hang out in circles. And the way in California it was you can't sleep on the beach at nighttime. If you do, you get arrested. So the homeless people would sleep all day and then party all night. But if they wanted to go to get dinner or go watch a movie or a football game, they'd go to sleep on the beach, and then they'd be in jail, and they'd go watch the movie and have a free meal. And that's the way they broke down the system for themselves. And if you talk to them during the day when they're on the beach, this is the most beautiful life. They think it's great.
Because it's
So,
free.
it's free. You don't have to listen to nobody. You don't have to do anything. You do what you want when you want. So, I mean, even bad people, good people, however you want to word it, know how to work a system to get the most out of it. I mean, that's what you do. Well, how do I get the most money from unemployment? How do I get the most money from them? How do I get the most money from them? How do I get the most food from them? Well,
People are like that because it's the poorer people in any country, not just here in any country in the world, don't have a voice. They don't get aid. They don't get help. Like you've just pointed out, well, the richest countries in the world, the USA, it's more economical for them not to house or help homeless people because they can't vote. That's people then that's 50% of the population they haven't even got to bother with, because then they could only got 50% to control for voting to get them in each time.
It's not that simple, because in California they have no work. There's no jobs.
There's no jobs anywhere in the world. There's a pandemic.
Well, the jobs are coming back as of right now. All the jobs are opening up. They're starting to hire people. So we'll be pulling out of that hopefully in the next couple months. But what I'm saying is, before the virus, the job system in California is bad. Hawaii, there's very little work. People come to Hawaii and they become homeless people. We have the highest number of homeless people in the United States in Hawaii, because people come here, they can't get a job, and then they live off of the vegetables on people's property, and they're happy. So it's pretty bizarre how people use a system and how the system doesn't fix it to make it work right. I mean, if people had a brain and cared about each other, you can make a system work. But when you don't care about a certain particular race, a certain color, a certain kind of people, the system falls apart. It becomes a prejudice.
Everybody's the same. We are all human beings from the same planet. It's crazy. It's craziness to me.
It's not right. I mean, and like you said, if the aliens come down here, what a lousy planet. I mean, I talked to one person.
I do object to people putting themselves in danger, dragging their poor families around with nothing on their feet, no food, no clothing, no water, through country to country to country to go to other countries to get help. Their governments are being paid money. If that, like, you got refugees fleeing Syria, war crime, or not just poking at Syria. You've got is Algeria. You've got poorer parts of the world that don't even have medical or sanitary care. Nobody's helping people in their own country. Their own governments aren't helping their own people. So it's not the people we should be angry at. It's these people they're voting in, or these people that are prime ministers and leaders of those countries should be held accountable for what is going on in their country. They're responsible for the human lives in their country. But I'm not a politician. I've just seen it from my side. And my point is, before the pandemic, like you said, nobody was helping abductees. Nobody in any country was getting free medical care. If you've got to pay for medical care anywhere and you've been an abductee, you're screwed. Who's helping these people? The government knows which people have been abducted, and they're not getting help. They're not getting any help whatsoever. They're not having an outlet to talk to. They have nobody to report it to, and nobody that believes them.
If the government comes out and says aliens are real.
They are real.
No, wait. No. I know that. You know that. But they won't admit it. If they come out and say that, then guess what? That opens the door to even being abducted. Because now you could go to a doctor and say, I've been abducted, rather than you're just crazy. You can say certain things that you can't say, otherwise you're just considered crazy. And then you're locked up. John Ford's in the nut house because he said he was crazy and he was going to kill Congress. He's in jail because he shot the best video of a UFO crash. There's a big difference between those two aspects. So when we go on, now, all my friends in the UFO world, including Ed Grimsley, all told me they were going to be killed. All right? He told me 2 weeks before he died. Even Phil Snyder, he didn't commit suicide. I mean, all the words that they use for people in the UFO world. In 1996, people listen to this, 200 UFO people died, and top nuclear scientists died within that 1 year. They were making sure that some kind of virus didn't get analyzed or studied, whatever the story was behind that, plus all the UFO people were being killed. All right. Now, John Ford had a video, which I saw. It was an incredible ship laying on the ground in Long Island, and the grays were laying around it. So they should have released that at that time, which they didn't. And I mean, Russia must have shot down a ship, which Mr. Putin said he did. He said they're working with alien races. He admitted it on Russian TV. All right. So, you know, how and then when Trump met Putin, suddenly Putin told Mr. Trump to start a space army, and he did. And he told him to tell the truth about 9/11, which he didn't do. So, you know, and Trump thinks he's wanted, he's friendly, everybody likes him. Nobody likes him. And I feel bad. Now, somebody else was attacking Biden. I said, you attack Biden, I'll attack Trump. And I said, you want to call Biden a child molester? Look at Trump. I said, you know, when you go after people, men, that's an issue I don't even want to get into right now.
That's the quickest way to deflect from an issue, a UFO issue, an election issue. Start slinging mud, and people are more interested in mud. Same here as the UK, more interested in wallpaper and slinging mud than they are the real issues.
But, you know, I've been signing like every letter to Biden and everything else for the voting and everything. And it always says, well, which is more important to you? The environment, the voting system. And then the last sentence says writing something else, and you write it in. I said, tell the truth about UFOs. And I put it in every letter I write. I don't care. I'm putting it on that letter, and maybe they'll see it. And who cares? I mean, obviously they won't care, but at least I'm putting it in front of their face so that it's not like it's a complete make-believe issue. So after this month, and we see what they release, then it will be a different story. Then we'll have something totally different to talk about, maybe. Maybe let's just say, well, a piece of paper came out and said, yeah, they're working on it now. They might say something stupid. I don't expect them to say something really important, but even though I'm hoping they will, because if they tell the world that UFOs are real and there's an alien driver in it, rather than a Russian or a Chinese person, it'll be important. If they say we actually shot a ship down, if they admit to Roswell, I mean, even if they admit to Roswell, it wasn't that bad.
See what I mean? You've got NASA. NASA's actually said that they've seen UFOs. They've actually released a picture of it on another planet. Now, that should be hot topic first grade news around the world. We're not alone on this planet. We're also not alone on Mars. Hello, people. Wake up.
Well, I don't know if you remember the original, one of the ships we sent up, they put a mile antenna on the back of it.
Wow, that's long.
And basically, when it was going through space, it was filming all these ships coming up to it and everything.
Yeah, I did see that. Wasn't it an antenna that broke off of the space station or something?
I don't know what it was, but they showed it for a long time. And nothing was ever said about it.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they stick things out and don't say what it is. Oh, well, that's whatever. Who cares? We don't know.
They reckon that I remember one of them. They said the UFO thing that was next to this antenna had to be at least 2 miles across. Apparently, they judged this thing as it went off in the distance. That was just one, and he shoots things around it. What does that tell you? We got nothing like that on this planet.
You see, it's like, well, no, I had the first astronaut on my show. All right. He said they created the first 7 space programs for him directly. I said, okay. And I said, well, what about aliens? Oh, there's nothing I can say about that. And I said, well, how about when you're in space? So he goes, well, I can say we saw things in space. That's all he would say.
Yeah.
He saw things in space. But I was watching TV when I was little, and the space probe was in space. And the guy's looking at there's something coming towards the window, and they blocked it out and censored it off of the TV. The same as when they shot down the ship in Long Island.
All astronauts have said that at some point in their career that they've seen things in space. So with that, Tommy, we've got like 9-10 minutes left of the show. Have you got your Geiger counter? And we're gonna have you got it ready? So everybody, me and Tommy have a Geiger counter each. Mine's here in the UK in Southampton. This is the Geiger counter. There's the back of it. Tommy has the identical one. We purchased them both off Amazon. I got mine from Amazon. There it is there. You've got the red on and off switch there. So you're going to switch it on. Now the top one here is the electrical magnetic field, and that's volts per meter. The bottom one is microteslas, and that's a radiation Geiger count. Okay, so it goes in 0 point whatever. Okay, so there's the electrical magnetic field. Now, it's not my telly giving off because I've put it towards my TV. I've got smart TV and it's giving off nothing. But me and Tommy had a problem earlier. We tested it earlier. As I pull mine away, the closer it gets to me, and I went up and down my room with it, the more it goes off. So a minute ago I had, there you go. So, but what I'm going to do, that's the electrical magnetic field, which wasn't working earlier. Now, I'm going to put it on the side of my head. Earlier, it was beeping in quite a lot of digits, and it was really quite worrying. So, but now we have nothing, Tommy. Oh, look at that.
She was radioactive at the beginning of the show. That's for sure. I saw it. I get the magnetic fields from the computer all the time.
Nothing. So it does depend. I don't get it all the time. It comes and goes. Hold on.
But mine says harmful radiation from the computer. All right. But
it's not going off now at all. Earlier, it was beeping like mad, and Tommy will tell you that.
For that to happen, people, it's impossible. Radiation doesn't get turned on and off. It's not a machine. I mean, if you're talking about the CERN, C-E-R-N, when they turn it on, it's radioactive. When they turn it off, it's not. But for Tina to be radioactive on her body, on and off, is impossible.
It was beeping like mad. Everything was flashing. It was going schizo, and I even moved to location to the back of the room. So it was nothing towards the TV, and I was putting it on me. The electrical magnetic field was going off, and the radiation was going off. And then I think, oh, there you go. Oh, just tweak them a second. Where was that there?
Unless the aliens put a little chip inside her that they turn on and off, but basically it's impossible. So I've been asking many people that I know. My brother's a scientist, and he says it's impossible. Oh, she must be on a moving thing. I said, we're sitting in a room.
Yeah, we're sitting in a room.
Moving anywhere. The planet's not spinning fast enough to be moving that fast either.
No, nothing. It was beeping in double digit. It was like 2 point something earlier.
Well,
nothing,
that's
Tommy.
Weird. So, but I'm not lying. She's not lying. She was radioactive right before we started the show.
Nothing.
So I guess I'll
Anything
give
I
it over. I'm going to give it over to Tina because she wants to introduce her books to you.
Okay, guys. Hello, I'm Tina Bird here in the UK. So I do write a few books. I've only had 2 out at the moment. I'm currently in the middle of finishing off a second in a series, and I'm hoping to release my UFO book later in this year or very early next year. I have all my books are published on Amazon. So if you'd like to go on, I'm not sure why Tommy's put a post up in the middle of my picture. So Tommy, not sure what he's done there. This is the Guardians of Light and the Brothers of the Night, and you can find me on Amazon. There it is there, and you can find me on download on Kindle and on Amazon Books. The other one is the Checkpoints, T.A. Bird. There we are here. There's a picture of me on the back. This is a short story. This is erotica, and you can find me there. This is also free. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, you get this book for free. It's available on download, and it's available in paperback, and it's available on Kindle as well, on obviously Amazon. So that's it for me this week here in the UK. I've been Tina Bird, and if you have any questions for our next show or answers from a previous show, please contact us. Or if you'd like to be a guest on the show, then please come in, let me know, let Tommy know, and we'll be glad to answer any of your questions. And if you'd like to come on the show, then we'll look at that and have some questions for you. But just before I go, next month in June, Rendlesham Forest, there is going to be quite a few of us meeting at Rendlesham Forest. There's a online event which you can go to online, so you haven't physically got to go there. It's been organised by a different group. So if you go on to, I think you'll find it, you'll see it on Facebook. But I'll be there at the famous Rendlesham. It's like Roswell, England's version of Roswell. It happened on just outside of a military base here in the UK, and I think Gary Heseltine recently made a film about it. But you'll find it's outside RF Wallbridge or something like that. It's called Rendlesham Forest, and it's the equivalent to Roswell, and that happened about 20-30 years ago here in the UK, and I'll be visiting that site in June. So I'll have more on that, and I'll be speaking to Tommy next week. People, keep your eyes open for any news on Mars, on the UFO scene in Mars, any more meteorites or fireballs, anything which is from ufology or any phenomenon. That's something else that's going on, like the volcano issue that's quite high on everyone's agenda lately as well. Please let me and Tommy know, because we can't see all the news at once. You know, we do try and dip our fingers into every bowl there is this week. But Tommy, over to you.
All right. Well, it's always a pleasure, Tina. So what I wanted to say is my link is hawksblood1@aol.com. Please text me, email me, Skype, hawksblood11. If you want to talk about UFOs, want to talk about something you experienced, I had somebody that said they want to show me some pictures and stuff. Please come on. If you have a lot to talk about, we'll bring you on. We're open to any suggestions or people that have any ideas and things that they want to talk about and have something important to say. Please. We're trying to bring the truth out. We're not trying to hide anything from anybody. We're not trying to cover anything up. We're trying to put the most important information that we can out there. I'm going to make Tina tell a story maybe in a week or two again, because people need to understand what she went through. And it's not like most of these experiences that, oh, they picked him up in the bed and they showed him a trip around the universe and brought him back. No, it's not like that. And it's not like that for anybody, really. So we try to get to the facts, or at least I do. I don't care what people out there say. In the UFO world, I'm a rebel. I go against all of them because none of them have anything important to say. Sorry, people. You want to spend thousands of dollars and listen to them talk about something, go right ahead. That same money could buy your children clothes, shoes, and food. You can do a lot of things with that. Take them on a nice trip to the park. Take them out at nighttime and let them see their own UFOs. You don't need to pay to have somebody say, well, I was on a UFO. Oh, I know UFO people. And the government's doing this. It doesn't matter what the government's going to do, because they have the right to do whatever they're doing. People better understand that in the United States, we have all these UFO people attacking our government. They're defending the planet and they're defending the people. I mean, what they do doesn't have to be public, because if we told Russia, China, Germany, all these other countries what we're doing, and China wants to fight with us, guess what? Then they would have an upper hand on us. That's why it's secret. And that's why it's called the secret mission, a secret program. Not because it was a public program. Oh, hey, everybody, we're going to attack Russia tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Oh, really? Let's tell them what we're going to do. No, you don't do things like that. And I'm really going after certain people. I mean, one of them blocked me, but
Hold on to me. Before you do that, I'm just getting ready to go. But before I say that, I'd just like to leave a parting thought with everybody. Not only we're the human race, I'm going to steal like a little line from Star Trek, where Earthlings were all in this together, people. We're not the only ones. There's other people that do blogs and radio show. But each and every person on the earth is an earthling. We are one race. Yes, we're male and female, but we're generally one race from Earth. We should stick together more. Go out in the skies, as Tommy said. Tommy's got the right idea there. Treat your family. Now the summer's coming. Well, it's Midsummer's Day next month. And now the summer's coming, no matter what country you are, because there's things you can see in the southern atmosphere, I believe, coming up as well. There's going to be meteors and showers and things you can see in the southern atmosphere that we won't in the northern atmosphere. So if you're below the equator and above the equator, go outside, take your kids out, point out the stars to them, point out where they live, and show them things that are going on. Take pictures, get the kids to do drawings. It can be a part of a family event and have it together. Kids love camping. With that note, I will leave you. We'll see you next week. Tommy, goodbye. As always, it's been a pleasure. Goodbye to everyone in Hawaii and the States and anyone else who's watching this across the world. And I'll speak to you next week, Tommy.
Goodbye, Tina. It's always a pleasure.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody.
All right, people. Now, we're coming close to the end of the hour. Now, I just want to bring it up. There's about 3 major UFO conferences coming up in the next 2 months. And they're roughly $500-$600 to get in. Then you have to spend money for the hotel, airfare, traveling, whatever, to get there, eating, and all those other things. If you're doing it for entertainment, just entertainment, and that's your pleasure, okay, that's fine. But if you're really going there to learn and understand and figure out and see what's really happening in the UFO world, you're going to the wrong place. You're going to hear the same stories over and over. You're going to hear stories about the government, how they're attacking the government, what the government's not doing, that they don't know. Nobody talks about the actual things that are going on. Now, and I'm going to give you that information. I don't care what people say, what people think, or what the UFO world wants to know. We had major wars in space with alien races. We did. The United States did, and we did once with Russia. Now, on top of that, we have aliens coming down here starting fights with us, and we were working with them for a while. Pull up Phil Snyder's story. It's one of the most, I call it the second most important UFO story that ever happened. All right? And it is important what went down, why our government sent these Green Berets into an underground base where aliens were, and they all got killed. Well, we ended up killing all the Greys as well, but they also found out that they were eating humans. All right, people don't want to talk about facts that are important. Oh, well, we met a good race, and they took us to the universe. They took us out to planet Xeon, and they showed us all these civilizations out there, all this stuff that has no use for us. They're not going to move us all out there. We don't need to be out there. Do we have the same food? Do we eat the same food? Do all alien races eat the same food? Of course not. Most alien races are very similar to animals. I mean, we are. In the United States or on this planet, we eat every creature that moves on this planet somewhere on this planet. Alligator, snakes, lizards, frogs, worms, caterpillars, anything. Somewhere they eat them. So does that make us intelligent? I will tell you this. I'm going to go into a short history. In the beginning, when mankind was brought here, 9 races were brought to this planet. They were spiritual people. We did not kill. We did not eat animals. We had psychic abilities. And then alien races came and had to screw that up and destroy it. But what I'm trying to get to is right now, we're probably in the worst condition we have ever been in. The virus was man-made. They're killing people by not by God, by man's ego and power. Do you want to live that way? Do you believe in that? Do you accept that? Is that okay for you? And then in the UFO world, they make it sound like all the good aliens are going to come and help us. They never did. We never created anything spiritual in 30,000 years. All right. I bypassed as far as what went down. We didn't do anything good. All we do is make toys and weapons. Sex toys, drugs, and weapons. I mean, what else do people play with or use? Well, man likes to play with balls. Big ones, little ones, funny looking ones, but they like to play with balls. That's their hobby. Pretty sad, but that's their way to make money, entertain themselves, and entertain other people. Well, imagine being a farmer. You don't have time to play baseball, football, basketball. And you're working with the farm. You're creating life, energy, and things, and you're working with being part of reality. You're a co-worker with it. A football player, a baseball player, a basketball player, a hockey player. Those kind of people are not intertwining with nature and life. They're just entertaining, knocking each other around. Boxers just get paid to beat each other up. Mentality. We did that in the gladiator days, and we didn't move forward. So if you think alien races are helping us, do what? People, talk to every UFO person you know and ask them, what are they going to do for us? Really? Because they can't do anything. They don't know anything about God. They don't have feelings and emotions. And they care about what? Travel? Why do you think they care about travel? And why do they really come here? Think about it. What do we have to offer people? Brains? Technology is not the same as spiritual energy or brain or spiritual energy. Science knowledge is chemical, metals, compounds, and things like that. Spiritual knowledge is to do with soul, super energy that transmutes this physical reality. Two separate things. People, do you understand that? Do you want to follow these people and say, well, I'm not going to say all the names. There's just too many names to say. But they're putting out comic books of what's really going on. Really? Because they can't get any real photographs of what's happening. If you have to draw cartoons, obviously it wasn't good enough to get a real photograph of it. And when people talk about their visions and experiences, well, so what? How did we know it wasn't a dream? And I was in hypnosis when I was 14. I could make people do anything I wanted them to do. Really. So in the UFO world, in the hypnosis world, oh, you can't be made to do anything you don't want? Yes, you can. And that being said, when you make people do things, Hitler was one of the greatest hypnotists that ever lived. The hypnotist that I learned when I was little from said Hitler used the power of suggestion. The power of suggestion is hypnosis. If I tell you something over and over, you'll start to believe it. All right? Or if I tell you in a strong, solid way, you just might accept it. And that's how hypnosis works. All right? So when aliens abduct people, listen to this, please. And they'd get taken on a ship. They're not taken to the diner or to the restaurant or whatever, the dining hall, and sit down and have a nice meal, and then they take a hot steam bath. And they're not doing those kind of things. So when you say you're on a ship, what are you doing? How'd you get there? What are you actually doing? What do they want you there for? To talk to you about stars? About planets? Why? Are you going to do something about it? The people that come out with these stories are crazy. I mean, we're all crazy in some way, but crazy with the idea that aliens are helping us, that they're not programming us, which they are. If they wanted to help us, they would, and they could, and it would be easy. But they are not doing that. People, it's time to wake up. The government system's pretty screwed up. Everything's screwed up. The way mankind treats women is still screwed up. The way that mankind treats children is screwed up. The schooling system doesn't work right. Are you ready to make a change? We don't have too much time. With Mr. Gates and Mr. Musk destroying the planet at every level in different ways, and want to, whether they're direct the New World Order or not is a different story. But they're doing more for it than anybody else is. So check out UN Agenda 21, which we're in, why it would be about population depletion, what that really means, and who's creating it, what's going to happen, what is the goal. And then you got all these other people talking about the new Bitcoin is not good enough. The new one, the microchip, whatever it's called, is going to be 10 times better. They're already changing the money system so that no matter which way you go, you're going to crash. On top of all that, all the richest people, including Mr. Rump, is buying an island somewhere. Somebody, Maccabee, I don't even know what his name is, but he bought a giant piece of Hawaii. Another piece. These people are buying islands. You better think why multi-billionaires or millionaires need to buy islands. What are they planning? This isn't all make-believe, people. This is real. It's as real as it gets. And then it ends. So I hope you get to where you want to get to, what you're doing, what you need to do before that happens. Before I end the show, just want to say this. I'm going to be doing a workshop, and it's not about UFOs directly in any way. It'll be about spiritualism, moving forward. Spiritually. I don't say I'm spiritually, but I'm on a spiritual quest or a spiritual vision, mission, whatever words you need in your life. You should be on it because you're going to die. Everybody dies. Aliens live a lot longer than we do. So what? Do you want to live longer? Living longer, does that make anything better? Think about it. You get older. I'm getting older. And your body gets worse. It doesn't get better. Your thinking slows down. It doesn't get better. You start seeing people around you die. That's not better. What gets better when you get older? Sure, when you're 20 and you turn 21, it's different. When you're 18 and turn 21 or whatever. But when you're 5 and you turn 6, or when you're 21 and turn 22, does it change? No. Now you start becoming older. And when you hit 50, then when you hit 60, then when you hit 70, you're getting older. Are things getting better? Anything? Is society getting better? It's getting worse every day. The environment's changing and being destroyed rapidly. Mr. Rump doesn't care about that. He doesn't believe it. He doesn't believe in aliens, even though Mr. Putin told him straight out. He wanted him to tell the truth about it. He didn't, but he did create a space army. He did say he wanted to be president when we go to Mars. Why? I'm president. We went to Mars. So? All right. There's too many things happening, people. Are you ready to look at the facts, understand what's happening, and do something about it? Or are you going to just sit back and say, I'm going to pray, or I'm not going to do anything? We'll crash, we'll burn, and we'll go down. Period. And that's where we're going right now. You can believe in what you want. If it makes you feel good, that's okay. But don't expect to get to a higher place spiritually. Understand something more important than the physical reality. understand something more important than the president or the Pope or anybody like that. A word that comes and goes, people accept, people don't. The word God, what it really means, and what God did create and why it did create it. There's a lot of things that could be important and beneficial to you in this lifetime and when you get ready to transpose from this reality to the next. All right, people. I gave you my 2 cents for now. Tune in. I'm going to be doing another show this week. I'm not sure. I didn't figure out how I'm going to put it together yet. I've been doing 2. I have 2 open ends on 2 shows I did. All my videos are up online. Go to YouTube. Just friend me, and you'll be able to get the links for any shows that I did. And you'll get the new ones when they come out. Okay, people. Peace, love, compassion, whatever you need in your life, I hope you get it. Hope you strive for it. And hope you always keep moving forward. Don't listen to the lies. Don't follow the lies. All right, people. You heard it here. Send this link to everybody you know. Please.